welcome all of you to CSUN and to this event this afternoon, which is to celebrate some of our students. Thank you all for being here, whether you are faculty or staff, whether you are supporters of our students in terms of family and friends, and certainly to our students. I know you didn't get like 3 or 4 weeks notice about this. You probably got notified last week. And somehow you found the time in your calendar to be here with us today. So we really appreciate that. I really do want to say a special thank you to our parents and our friends of our students. You know, many of our students could not be where they are without your support. Whether that is taking care of them from birth till now, whether it's being their support, whether it's having you to run home to do their laundry. I still get some of that sometimes from my mom. Whether it's being able to come home to a hug and a meal, or just to spend some downtime with you. We don't get to be successful without support, for the most part, from the people around us. So thank you, parents, and thank you, friends, for supporting our students. I want to also say a special thanks to our faculty and our staff, who are also critical in helping our students to be successful. And sometimes for a student, success just means being able to come to Cal State Northridge and get a degree. May not have been something that they ever envisioned in their lives. You know, we do have a lot of students who are first generation students. We have a lot of students who come from very underprivileged backgrounds. And just to be able to come to this institution and to see that light at the end of the tunnel, to get that degree, to change their lives, that's what we're able to do here. We could not do it without our faculty and without our staff. So this is just a reminder that I really appreciate you. And as much as I can, I will say it anywhere I go. We can't have successful students without the faculty and staff that we are privileged to have. And then finally, or almost finally, the students are why we're in this room today. And I want to say congratulations to all of you. There are 9 departments in this college. We have a range of degrees, so we have bachelor's degrees, we have master's degrees, and we have 2 doctoral programs. And for each of those departments, we have at least 1 student who is being recognized with the Dean's Award. And what that means is not just that you have a high GPA. We have quite a few students whose GPAs are high enough to be considered for this award. What it means is that the faculty in your department reviewed that list of students who were eligible, and as a faculty thought about who you are as individual students, what you bring to our programs, what you do for others, and so on. Not just whether your GPA is 3.6 or 3.8 or 4.0 or whatever else it may be, but what else you do beyond the classroom. And our faculty, they may have presented individual students, and as a group, in each department, they determine which student or students from that department should be given a Dean's Award. And they then share that information with our Director of College Advising, and here you are today. So your faculty think very highly of you as individual students across the board in their department from the list of students that are eligible. And that is quite an honor and quite a recognition. So again, I want to congratulate all of you for not just your GPAs, but that for the service you do for others, for how you work with other students, for the volunteering that you've done in your community and across campus and so on, and all of the things that our faculty think you should be recognized for. So congratulations to you. And those are my brief welcome remarks. We are going to have presentations from our students, and they get to, not us presenting them, but them presenting themselves to you and giving you some idea of why we think they are excellent students and excellent members of our community, and indeed worthy of this recognition. Thank you all. Across the colleges to the deans, we share that list with our departments. Departments recommend students, and they present students to us, and then as the administration of the college, we get to vote on whether those students should be the Wilson Scholars for us or not. Then once each college has its representative, it's Wilson Scholar who gets recognized in our commencement ceremonies as the Wilson Scholar for the college. We then, as deans for the colleges and other members of the Provost Council, we go to the Provost Council and we present our students and we advocate for them as to why they should be the Wilson Scholar for the university. And I'm quite thrilled to recognize Ms. Catherine Oz as the Wilson Scholar for the College of Health and Human Development for this year.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I just want to thank the faculty in my department, such as Dr. Tracy Tung. Without the faculty, I would not be here today. My name is Catherine Oz. I'm a senior fashion design and production student. Baby me knew exactly where she was heading when she was modeling that little Louis Vuitton bag. So what began as playful moments in my grandparents' tailor shop, just a child with curiosity, fabric, and thread, has grown into the passion that defines my life's purpose. I never imagined that those memories would one day stitch into the fabric that now defines my life. My grandmother began sewing at just 14. She passed that gift on to me stitch by stitch, and this is one of the first pieces I made for my stuffed animal when I was about 7 years old. My late grandmother, my dad's mom, she also shared such a deep love and passion for sewing, and I was so blessed to inherit her sewing machine. It's a piece of her that I will carry with me throughout every competition and design I create. These are some of my accomplishments here at CSUN. I'm so blessed and honored to have the privilege of being the president of the Fashion Club, as well as student assistant for the Sustainable Fashion Program. And I did have the opportunity to participate in a few design competitions and even get to create a design look for our lovely Dean Best. My future goals, making a difference one stitch at a time. I hope to create a meaningful impact and leave a mark on young girls' lives to inspire them to dream big and follow their passion. My designs are more about just fashion. They're a way to make people feel seen and truly confident in themselves. So thank you so much.
Everyone, my name is Alexis Garcia. I'm a child development honors candidate. A little bit about me. I've been playing softball my entire life. I started playing softball when I was 4 years old. You can see we're a softball family. My dad coached me ever since I started, and I now play for the CSUN softball team here. A big part of my personal life and my personal journey is my mom passed away when I was 13. So a lot of what I do is in honor of her. Another thing, I also work here at the CSUN Orange Lab working with Dr. Grote as a research assistant where we talk about cognitive flexibility and bilingualism. And some of my accomplishments here throughout my time here at CSUN, I was able to do the Child and Adolescent Development Honors Program where I got to run my own personal study, which was investigating perceptions among college athletes through journaling, where I was able to present at CSymposium. As well as my time with the Orange Lab, I was able to present at the Southern California Conference for Undergraduate Research, which looked into the growth mindset and bilingualism. I also received the 2024 and 2025 Scholar Athlete of the Year award. And a big accomplishment that I kind of look at with my time here is balancing the schedule of being a D1 athlete as well as an honors student. As for my future goals, I'll be pursuing my master's in education in the cultural studies of sport and education at UC Berkeley. And I'd like to continue my education into a PhD and become a professor and work with student athletes.
So I also have a different story that I want to tell you. So I wore many hats during my grad school program, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about who and what got me through and what I achieved. So actually this picture on the left is from my first day at grad school. As I was leaving my full-time job to head over to CSUN. Reminds me about how much can change in such a short time of both in what we know and who we can become. So when I first entered my MPH program and through now, it came with a fair amount of challenges, some of which I couldn't prepare for. But I am fortunate to have the most encouraging and dedicated faculty. Dr. Rogers is here, and actually Dr. Miriam Forster just walked in my peers. And I also cherish my friends who reminded me to laugh when things felt heavy. And for the countless adventures, late night talks, Mechelle, and for throughout my program. And so I also want to give a big shout out to my two MVPs, Cappuccinos and In-N-Out Burger, for being the best emotional support that a girl can ask for. So throughout my journey at CSUN, so I strived for academic excellence. I served as a department TA, both graduate and undergraduate for biostatistics. I worked and will continue to work as a graduate research assistant for Mattisfire. I conceptualized and carried out data collection for my thesis that was collected here on campus. And I got the opportunity to actually present my findings for my thesis at the APHA National Conference this past fall, and at this year's CSUN Symposium, which I took first prize for. I did all of this while maintaining my job outside of CSUN. I do want to give a special thanks to my faculty mentors, my peers, my friends, and my family for contributing and ultimately influencing my academic growth and personal development. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Reggie and I'm an undergraduate student in the Communication Disorders and Sciences program. I just want to take this time to thank everyone for the opportunity to be here and to be getting this award. So just a little bit about me. I am a first-generation South Asian immigrant. My parents are from Kerala, India, and I take great pride in my culture and in my community. I love dressing in my traditional attire, wearing and eating my cultural clothes, and along with that, I also enjoy serving my community by helping at my church in the children's ministry as a Sunday school teacher. And I also am an avid baker. I have a couple pictures of the things that I've made. I give my sweet treats to my Sunday school kids, and they're very biased taste testers because anything with sugar, they'll eat it. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about the things I've accomplished here at CSUN. So I've had the great opportunity to be a part of the Speech and Signs Language Lab under the mentorship of Dr. Vicky Yu. And so with this opportunity, we've been able to collaborate on many research projects that have focused on cognition and bilingualism. And so with our research findings, we were actually able to present it at multiple research conferences. Most recently, we presented at the CSUN Symposium, and some other notable conferences include the American Speech and Hearing Association conference that took place in Seattle, and the California Speech and Hearing Association conference that took place in Pasadena. I also serve as the Vice President of the National Student Speech and Language Hearing Association Club. That's a long tongue twister. So our club works to promote unity within our field and just raise awareness for future aspiring speech language pathologists as well as audiologists. So my future goals, I plan to stay here for my master's and I'm in hopes of becoming a licensed speech language pathologist. And beyond that, I also want to do a PhD to continue my research interests. And my research interests include cognition and bilingualism. And beyond that, I would like to have a global impact by going back to India and raising awareness for communication disorders, and also just raising more awareness for speech language services for underserved communities in India. Thank you.
I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and then we're all nervous up here too, so I apologize in advance. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off with my personal life. As I mentioned, I am very honored to be here today. I'm a first generation Chicana, a graduate student in speech language pathology, and most importantly, a mother to my wonderful daughter Camila, who unfortunately is not here today. She's at Disneyland. So my path here wasn't traditional and it wasn't fast, but it was deeply meaningful. I started college slowly while helping raise my siblings and working to support my daughter. At times I felt like I was building my future brick by brick, but those years taught me how strong I was becoming, now how far behind I was. So my time at CSUN has been a season of transformation, to say the least. I found not only my profession, but my purpose. One of the most powerful moments in my journey was realizing that speech language pathology was already a part of my life story. As a child, I watched my grandfather go through neck cancer treatments, chemo, radiation, and eventually a total laryngectomy. I remember the sound of his electrolarynx and the silence that followed when he could no longer speak. My most recently grandmother has been living with Huntington's disease, and I've used what I've learned in grad school to my advantage. Swallowing strategies, safety measures, even communication boards to help support her and for her to stay connected with our family. These experiences didn't just motivate me, they shaped the way I see my role as a clinician. They remind me that behind every diagnosis is a person, a story, and a family that loves them. At CSUN, I also served as president of the National Student Speech Language Association, Rachel, it is long, where I worked to create a more inclusive space for all students, especially parent scholars. I also worked as a speech language pathology assistant during graduate school, where I could take what I was learning and use it to make a difference in real time. For my future goals, as I approach the end of this chapter, I carry both gratitude and ambition. I plan to work in a medical setting as a speech language pathologist with individuals recovering from stroke, traumatic brain injuries, and progressive conditions like dementia. My long-term dream is to open a private practice that serves bilingual and Spanish-speaking communities, places where people often face barriers to access and understanding. I also hope to create a space for the Parkinson's Voice Project and other initiatives that give people their voice back, literally and figuratively. This award is not just a personal milestone, it is a reminder that with perseverance, faith, and community, what once felt impossible becomes a platform for something greater. My daughter watching, and my hope is that the path that I'm building now becomes a starting point for her own dreams. May my roof become her floor.
In consumer sciences for interior design. I also approached my introduction a bit differently, and I have a speech that I'd like to share with all of you guys. So once again, good afternoon. My name is Noel Vera, and I want to begin by saying how incredibly grateful I am to be recognized with the Dean's Award. If you had told me 4 or 5 years ago that I'd be standing here and graduating with my Bachelor's of Science in Interior Design and receiving this honor, I probably would have laughed in disbelief. My journey with school hasn't always been the easiest. I struggled to find joy in the learning process, to discover my voice, my confidence, and my purpose, and to find my community. But everything began to change when I came here to CSUN. Here, I learned to embrace the beauty of the process. I opened up and formed genuine connections with my peers and began to feel safe and seen. And safe when asking for help when I didn't understand something. That critical voice in my head that kept telling me I wasn't good enough or that others would judge me and my work began to quiet down. And little by little, I found my voice, and with that came my confidence. It felt like all that scattered puzzle pieces in my life were finally coming together. While I know I still have so much to learn, one thing that I have learned is very clear to me, and I'd like to share it with you all. My education as an interior design student has reintroduced me to myself. It's reminded me of the creative, playful, and curious version of me that I had tucked away. The one who used to dream without limits, imagine without fear, and create just for the joy of it. Through this journey, I've come to understand that design is so much more than just what meets the eye. It goes far beyond aesthetics and far beyond just trends. Design has the power to completely transform how we feel, how we move, and how we experience the world around us. It shapes our choices, our mood, our sense of safety and identity, and belonging. It's in the places we call home, the environments we learn, and the ones that we heal in, the spaces we seek comfort in. Whether we realize it or not, the spaces we occupy leave lasting impressions. And someone somewhere once dreamed to make those spaces into reality. And now, when I walk into a room, I don't just see the four walls. I see stories, I see intentions, and I see the people inside it and how they interact with one another. The way the light hits the floor, the materials that invite touch, and the sounds that calm or energize. I see how spaces can hold us, how they can move us, and how in many ways they can heal us. That's the magic of design. It's not just about creating something beautiful, but about creating something meaningful. And I feel so grateful to have found a path where I get to do just that. And lastly, of course, I want to express my deepest gratitude to my parents who are sitting up front. I could have not done it without you guys. You guys have given me immense support, encouragement, and love every single step of the way. And of course, to all of my professors, not all of them are here, but Professor King is here, and I couldn't have done it without you. I'm so grateful for you, for your guidance, and for your belief in who I am as a student and who I am becoming. So thank you. About aside from interior design is fitness and wellness. It's changed my life completely. And something that I want to follow with interior design is bringing the two and merging them together and creating my own wellness events where I can bring fitness and events together and have people enjoy them. So that's one of my future goals.
A little nervous to be up here, but so I'm John Beer. My dad's name's also John. Don't get us confused. So a little bit about me. If the pictures don't make it a little obvious, I served in the military. I joined the Army in 2015. This December will be 10 years in. I've been going to CSUN since 2017. It took me a little bit to get my undergrad, but I got there. I was very happy with it. I found a major I loved, environmental and occupational health. Totally forgot to say I'm a graduate of that degree. And I just fell in love with it because in the Army side, I do chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear stuff. So it's a long way of saying I protect people against chemicals on the field. I've deployed to Kuwait where I've continued to do my undergrad at the same time. So I'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do classes, which were at 6 p.m. here. It worked out because COVID. So as part of the National Guard, I responded to fires, floods, civil unrest, state emergencies, and I have to thank my faculty for their undying support. Every time I have to go to training, an emergency, they're always very accommodating, and I cannot thank them more for making that as smooth as it could have been. Next slide, please. So some of my accomplishments, I graduated 2013. I got the Dean's Award for my grad. I'm back again. Sorry, but thank you so much for this honor again. I graduated, sorry, I'm like a little rambling. I'm also the president and serving currently as the vice president for the Student Veteran Organization, where we give back and try to build a community of veterans on campus. We've teamed up with Bank of America to teach financial literacy classes. We've done some volunteer work with disabled veterans. So we're just trying to build that community on campus, and hopefully I'm making it good enough to where I can leave now and pass it on for other people to continue the SVO. Next slide, please. So my future goals are to continue excelling both academically and military-wise. Currently, I'm a platoon sergeant with 30 people under me, serving as a sergeant first class. I'm working in an internship with Burbank for environmental health and safety. And I recently gave a presentation researching blood cadmium levels with their Association of Depression. I gave that at the CSUN Symposium. So my future goal is I'm considering a PhD, but overall I just want to keep excelling and giving back to the community.
Okay. Hi, my name is Belen Contreras. I am majoring in environmental and occupational health. I'm an undergrad, and I've been on the Dean's List and also honors candidate this upcoming May. So for my personal life, I am Mexican American. I was born to Mexican immigrant parents who came from Mexico. My mom over there, huge shout out to her because she's been my huge support system. She's a person that sees me cry and celebrate when things go right or wrong. So I'm deeply grateful that she's able to be here. I was born and raised in the San Fernando Valley, so I've been here my whole life. I'm first generation to attend a four-year university and also graduate this spring. And I have one younger sister who we're both majoring in the same department, so it's pretty cool to kind of share that with her. And some accomplishments I've done, it's quite, my mom calls me an octopus because I like to do so many things at once. But my most memorable award that I got that I really have in my heart is the Matt Wynn Memorial EHS Scholarship, which is a scholarship awarded from Amgen. So I was lucky to get recognized and have that scholarship and to be able to afford some of my cost expenses here at CSUN. And then I also was awarded Dean's List for Spring 21 and Fall 2024. I am also the president of the Health Education Student Organization, which is part of the Public Health undergraduate major. And then I'm also the vice president for the Environmental and Occupational Health Student Association. I am also a university ambassador, which essentially is a student who gives campus tours. So I've been giving campus tours for 2 years. And I've also served as a director of public relations. I also did research in quantum dot chemistry for 2.5 years under PREM, which was a partnership with CSUN and Princeton. And I also did a Angelino Corpse program, which was a program created by previous Mayor Eric Garcetti. And I interned at the Dignity Health Hospital here at Northridge, and I did patient transport for a year. And then currently I am an environmental health and safety intern at ABBank, which is an aerospace manufacturing company. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. For my future goals, I was lucky enough to receive an offer to work as a safety engineer for Hensel Phelps. So I'll be doing that after I graduate. I do plan to pursue a master's degree in EOH. I just don't know kind of what field yet. So I kind of want to explore different industries. So I'll be in the construction industry. And my ultimate goal is to obtain a PhD as well in EOH related field. And yeah, pretty much my life.
I'm sure you can understand why this time of the year is absolutely my favorite part of the academic year, where we get to celebrate all of these students that we have. Just sitting in this space and listening to them tell their stories, I am so inspired by what our students are doing. And these are a few of the students in this college and a few of the students at CSUN. Or a roll of students is typically around 36,000 students in any given year. And so these are the top of the students and doing really excellent work. Again, I want to congratulate all of you. Honestly, I'm just thrilled. I couldn't stop smiling as I was sitting there. I could think of many opportunities that just these students who presented could work together to improve the life and the life chances of an individual or a family or a community, just by the things that they have talked about in terms of what they're doing and what they plan to do. I am even more thrilled to hear 2 students saying that they plan to do PhDs, and you should never say something like that around me if you don't intend to do it. I have some master's students who will tell you that once they told me as undergraduate students they plan to do a master's, like every year or so I would check in on them to make sure they were actually moving in that direction. And we have been successful. It takes a village, somebody said that, to really move us forward, to help us to be successful. And it takes a village to help everybody else be successful. And I always challenge students to think about how they can help others achieve the dreams that they have. And I can hear from many of you that you're already doing those things. But it is a reminder that success is not just about us as individuals, but it is how we can help other people be successful as well. So when you are making good progress in your career as a student, in your career when you are more in the field, when you're graduated and you're working in that area that you really want to be working in, think about how you can inspire other people and how you can help other people to pursue their dreams or to continue pursuing their dreams as well. Think about what alumni from HHD and CSUN may have done for you and how you as alumni can reach back and help other students as well. That is always my challenge to students, to reach back and pull at least one person forward as you're moving ahead. But know that events like this are really, really satisfying for us as they support beneath you. So for our staff and our faculty to hear what you are doing, what accomplishments you have achieved, what your future holds for you, and how you're going to be an even better part of our communities than you already are. It is really inspiring to us. So thank you for bringing me joy today and reminding me of why we do the work that we do, regardless of the challenges that we encounter, sometimes on an hour-by-hour basis on this campus. But just listening to you makes it worthwhile. It reminds me of why we get up every day and we come to this environment, because what we're doing makes a difference. And I want to encourage you to continue making a difference.